What is up, you guys? It's Dom here from JoJo Productions, and today we're going to talk about one of the greatest battles in history: phones versus DSLRs, real cameras. Which one's better? Are phones going to win? Are the DSLRs the better option? Let's talk about this thing. This is my phone. This is what most people have when it comes to pictures and videos, and for the most part, it does a pretty darn good job. But this is what we call the real camera. This is something that professionals use, or your friends, or whatever. This is what we call a DSLR camera. And I'm gonna tell you why a phone might be better or the real camera might be better. So let's take a look, let's see the goods and the bads for each of these. I'm gonna start off with the phone because, well, number one reason is most of us have this with us. If you don't have your phone, well then you're probably just not a real person, and or you're just super antisocial. The phone is probably going to be your best option because it's just always there with you. And well, it's super portable, super lightweight. It's not going to be like super heavy or anything. And for the most part, it gets the job done. Another thing that's great about the phone is the fact that you have instant like uploads. So basically, if you want to upload to social media, you can do that right away. And that's what's really great about it. Secondly is the fact that what you can hold on the phone. Mainly the example of like photo editing software. I have Lightroom on this and it's really good actually. When I want to take a quick photo and upload it real quick, but I want to edit it, I have it there right with me. So this is kind of the option that most of us are going to be using because, like I said again, it's just there. It's the most convenient thing. On the other hand, we have this. This is the DSLR camera. This is the thing that I usually use. This is the thing that most people go to when they want professional pictures. We think people with these things. This is actually a Nikon D300. It is a pretty old camera. Came out in 2007. If you want to see a review, well, there's going to be a review on it anyway. Anyway, so this is what we call the professional camera, the real camera. And this is great for a lot of things, really. First thing is the lenses. The lenses are probably the most important part of this thing. I can strap on just about anything. I can put on a really nice zoom lens like this. This is the 17-50. I can put on a 50mm 1.4 and get some really nice blurry backgrounds. I can also get like a longer lens, like a 400-8, and I can see things way far in the distance. Also, another great thing about this is the sensor size. The sensor sizes from these are a lot bigger than phones. Probably the number one reason why people use DSLRs the most is because of the controls. This has full manual controls. I can control every setting of this camera. I can control my aperture, I can control the ISO, I can control my shutter speed, and that is why most people are using this, is because of the controls. Also because, well, just the image quality that comes out of this. Going back to the phone, this, again, is my phone, obviously, but the number one biggest problem that most people have when it comes to phones is zooming. And the biggest problem when it comes to zooming is the fact that you lose quality. And why is that? Because this is a digital zoom. When you zoom in on a phone like this, it is digitally zooming into the sensor. Whereas if I zoom in with this, this is an optical zoom. This doesn't zoom in on the sensor. This zooms in with glass elements that's inside this lens. There's that. Another really big downside to phones is the fact of low light performance. Low light performance on these is pretty bad. What that means is if you shoot in the dark, you will notice that the image kind of looks grainy and blocky. That is definitely a huge downfall to phones. This can do pretty well in the dark. I can shoot this thing up to about 1600 ISO, and with most modern cameras, I can shoot up to maybe 10,000 ISO and get a really clean image. And that is due to the sensor size. The sensor size in these is huge compared to sensor sizes in phones. Another great thing about the real camera, professional DSLRs, when it comes to videos especially, is the resolutions. The 4K resolution. Now yes, I do know that phones are shooting 4K resolution. But the 4K that comes out of the phone is really nothing compared to the 4K that comes out of, say, something like my Panasonic G7. So why are those two completely, totally different? It's because of the image control that I can get from my G7. When it comes to 4K from my phone, which this doesn't have 4K by the way, but 4K from the phones is very, very processed. It's digitally processed, it's over-sharpened, oversaturated, whereas say to my G7, I can really control that image. I can bring down the sharpness, bring down the saturation, all that kind of stuff, which really just allows me to add all that kind of stuff back in post as much as I would like. Okay, so but there is that flip side with the phones, because I know that there are some kind of like apps that you can download that kind of let you get more control. I don't know what it's called. I can't think of it. But anyway, yes, there are apps that you can download to get more manual control, but still, it's not going to be anything compared to a DSLR camera. All right, and the final big thing, I think, when it comes to the comparison of phones and DSLRs really is just image quality. This camera can shoot a raw image, which means there is no processing done to it, whereas this shoots only JPEGs. Phones only shoot JPEGs, which is okay, but it doesn't give you as much flexibility and control as you might like from a DSLR camera that shoots RAW. Now, I believe there is a phone that does shoot RAW. It is the Red Hydrogen. If I'm wrong, let me know. I might be wrong. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, DSLRs are definitely going to be the way to go if you want ultimate image quality. Now, am I saying that you can't get away with JPEG images? Well, of course. JPEG images were a huge thing before RAW even came. These cameras were shooting JPEGs before RAW was even a thing. In fact, all you could shoot was JPEG for a long time. So RAW, when did RAW come around? I don't know. RAW has been around for a while. But anyway, so as far as image quality goes, I think the DSLR definitely has the advantage, but phones have definitely come a long way. They are doing a lot better than I really expected. So let's talk about the downside to a real camera. As you can see, this thing's pretty big and bulky, and when I'm walking around, I walk around with this all the time, so it doesn't matter. But most of you probably aren't just gonna wanna walk around and carry this thing. Like, it's kind of a pain in the butt, really, and unless you're traveling and getting paid to carry a DSLR, you probably aren't gonna wanna carry this. This is definitely the better option if you're gonna be traveling. Again, lighter, smaller, more portable, it's just there. With DSLRs, you definitely kind of got to think about what you want to do. You got to bring the right lenses, got to bring extra batteries. Yeah, and it just takes a little more thinking when it comes to DSLRs too. So there you go. That is my look on the great dispute of DSLRs versus phones. If you have anything else you'd like to say about this dispute, please let me know in the comment section below and let's talk about it. And until then, if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, subscribe. And until then, we will see you guys next time. Bye.